Welcome back to SAFC Live. You join us pitch side. Sunderland on the back of a 3-1 defeat at home. It doesn't really tell the full story though, because there was many incidents in that game, Danny. We'll try and discuss them here in the post-game programme. Of course, we want your thoughts as well. If you do use the hashtag #AskDanny, and we'll get your opinions in the post-game programme. Should we roll the highlights and then we can probably discuss some of those?
That way, I think. There's a lot of incident in the game, wasn't there? So
this is the action, and of course it was a big decision early on which changed the game. Sunderland playing all right the first 5-10 minutes, didn't they? They took the game to Swansea.
Yeah, I think so. First 15 or so, I'd say. Yeah, I think it was 18 minutes when Luke came flying in, and that was the big talking point. But we'll get onto that. But yeah, I thought we started well. We had good energy about us, pressing high, stopped Swansea from playing the game they like to play. And we were the team that were looking most likely. And I think, seeing Patrick, I said before the game, you get Patrick, Ahmad, Roberts, Ross, these four lads in the game, they're going to cause problems for the opposition. And Patrick there wins himself a free kick, doesn't he? Just up and over the wall. Unfortunately, it doesn't come down in time. I think keeper scrambling across, he'll say he had it covered, I think, pulls his arms away.
I thought Patrick Roberts had a good 15 minutes before he was
it's disappointing.
Replaced,
and then obviously when Luke gets sent off, it's going to be one of the front lads really. And it was always going to be for me either Jack or Patrick. Unfortunately, Patrick's the one that had to come off, and
that shot from distance from Grimes
early on. Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort. I see the two centre midfielders for them combining. It's Joe Allen just sets it nice for him, nice weight on it to come onto it first time, and he's just trying to pass it into this near side past Anthony Patterson, and ripples the net there, just the wrong side of the post. But yeah, here we go again. We're on the front foot. I think it's Trey Hume getting forward. Ball comes in, little nick off one of the defenders, and takes the sting out of it, and keeper claims it. And here we go now is the first incident, isn't it? It's Ahmad getting his man into the box, Cullen, and you'll see it from this angle. I'm not sure if we slow it down at all. He just works it there. Let's keep your eye on it, and he kicks his calf there. Bang. It is, and just look at Cullen's reaction. Where does he look straight away? Innocent one, arms go up, looking at the referee. I think he knows he's made contact, gets away with it.
10 seconds later, this happens.
I've been in this position. It looks a lot worse than what it is. Yeah, Luke comes flying in. It's not good from Luke. The ball comes in, and it's good. It's good touch actually from. It's Cooper. Is it Cooper that he catches? I think it is, isn't it? And he comes flying in. He just takes it away with him with his opposite foot. And I still think it's a yellow card. I've seen it 4 or 5 times now. And there's people here who might think it's a red. Some are undecided. And we've chatted to a few people there coming on the way down back to the pitch side there, and
want to discuss in the pubs after the game.
It is, certainly it is, but then it just felt the momentum went away from us, because 10v11 against the team who like to have possession of the ball and to work it around the pitch, and it just drains you. Takes the energy out of your legs, and that's what they did, Swansea. But saying that, for the remainder of the 20-25 minutes in that first half, they were comfortable saves. You see that one there now for Anthony Patterson, down to his right hand side, bounces up in front of him, but he puts it round the post, and then we're still coming forward. You're always a threat with these lads we've got on the pitch. Lyndon there, see going after the ref, thinks it's a corner, and Jack does well, gets Cabango into the box, and when he does, he just goes past him like he's not there, pulls it back for Ross. Ross tries a little flick with the inside of his left boot, I think here now, and he's asking for the corner off Harry Darling. Whether it is or not, I'm not too sure. And then this one here, Danny Bart's come onto the pitch, hasn't he? For, as you say, Patrick Roberts comes off. We've shored it up at the back, bringing Danny on, coming back a little bit sooner than he would have liked, and gets himself in the way of that one. But going into half time now, and I think Tony Mowbray would have been delighted. We've seen the storm out. They had a lot of possession between Luke O'Nien getting sent off and before going into the break, but they had 3 or 4 half chances at best. That was probably their best opportunity, really, wasn't it? And Danny Bart makes a good bloke. Second half now, Dan Neal, I said, was excellent for me, and I'll give him man of the match there. I thought he drove us on really well, and good play there. Look, 4 or 5 Swansea shirts around him, and
I think there's a tug before he goes down.
You've seen that one. Yeah, you think
which is a couple of comings together there. It's Cabango's right hand
just goes out of picture there,
hand,
doesn't it? And you see Dan goes between the two of them, gets wrong side, and naturally for defenders you have a bit of a panic up in there, and you're trying to grab out, and they've got 3 goals. And what I will say, although we're down to 10 men, and it's easy to break things down after the game, it's a disappointing one to give away. Look, ball over the top. Lyndon's, he's got 2 men really in a way. He's got Cullen, who's off the back of Dan Ballard, and he knows he's got the full back behind him. It's a lovely ball from Grimes. It's a loopy one back in, isn't it? And then Perro, everyone's looking around thinking, well, what's happening? To our right hand side, fans are all screaming it's offside, but we've seen it back a couple of times now, and it's not offside. By the time Manning plays the ball across, he's on the 6-yard line. and Piero's a couple of yards onside.
Sunderland got back into it though, Danny.
Yeah, it was a lovely play on the counter-attack. Ball up to Ross. Dan Neil drives forward. We haven't seen that in the build-up there. Comes out to Jack Clark, up against his man. 1v1, he'd just been booked, doesn't really want to commit.
And it felt like a real moment inside the stadium. If we just kind of convey what was happening in the 5 minutes before that, the crowd were relentless with their chanting and really got behind the team, and they reacted to it, didn't they?
They did, yeah, just give them that lift when they needed it, really. As if say, come on boys, we're with you, let's drive on a little bit. And then ball comes in, and what we found astonishing, Danny Bart's the man in the middle. We thought it was Ross Stewart at first, didn't we? But then it's Danny Bart in there, and he just cushions it into the path, and there's Dan Neil getting himself into the box, middle of the 6-yard box, no one round him. Bang, thanks very much. And then the place went up there, and you're thinking, right, come on now, let's say there's still a long time to go in the game there, and thinking, can you hang on the next 5-10 minutes, take the sting out of them? But unfortunately it doesn't, and it's an unfortunate one, isn't it? And you're saying there, Danny Bart at the other end, he's got us back into it, and in there he is where you'd want him to be. As that ball's fizzed there, he's breaking his neck to get back in 6-yard line, look, slides across, and unfortunately plays it straight off Cullen. I think it comes off his knee, doesn't it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
There's a real sucker punch this, Danny, during the game, because Sunderland tried so hard to get back into the game. The crowd did their bit as well, and then just to concede a goal in that manner, you just thought it sucked the life out of them, didn't it?
Well, it does, yeah, because I've seen you've worked that hard off the ball. You're not really getting a touch of the ball. You're just doing doggies, backwards, forwards, sideways, a lot of sideways movement, because Swansea are looking for that little threaded ball. And then we've got the goal there, and they're thinking, right, now let's settle it down 5-10 minutes, take the sting out of the game. But unfortunately they get their noses in front again straight after we get the equaliser, and that one there's unfortunate. I thought Linden was excellent. His energy was fantastic for being out for a few weeks, and he fizzes a lovely ball. And unfortunately you see Ross there, because Ross had done a lot of work in the build up down this left hand side, I think, so he's trying to get himself back into the middle, but that ball there's asking to be put into the back of the net, isn't it? Unfortunately no one's there to get on the end of it. And then here's the third one now, and again, I think, does it take a little nick off?
I think it might off Danny Bart.
Danny Bart sliding across, possibly. Little deflection, and it's a bit of power behind it as well. He's only 10 yards or so out, isn't he, and puts his foot through it. But at this stage, the game's getting stretched as well. We've made a few changes. They had an opportunity there, actually, where you think it's gone away. Two spare players in the middle of the box, and then, it's past Anthony Patterson. Does he get a bit of a glove on it? You'll see from this one now, I'm not sure. But, the third one then, and that's certainly game over.
I don't think the goalkeeper was expecting it there either, is he? To smash it into that top corner from there.
It's pretty much into the angle as well, isn't it? Yeah, and again, it's in slow-mo there as well, so we've took the pace off the ball a little bit. So, unfortunately, it's one of those now. And we were saying, weren't we, can we get back-to-back wins? And we could have gone fourth today. Disappointing result. Performance is hard to gauge in a way, because the lads have put so much in it. But if you gauge it up to that 11v11 sort of 20-minute mark, we were the better team. So that's a disappointing. I'm sure Tony Mowbray's saying that to the boys in there, but now in a way it's a good thing. I think we haven't got a midweek game. You're getting ready for Middlesbrough next week.
I wonder if we can have a look at latest scores around the Championship. Here we go then. There was an early kick-off, and it was a big shock as Rotherham won 4-0 at home to Blackburn Rovers. Other scores in the Championship: Bristol City 4, Birmingham City 2, Burnley 1, Coventry 0, Cardiff City 1, Wigan 1, Hull City 1, Huddersfield Town 1, Luton Town 2, West Brom 3, Middlesbrough 1, Millwall 0. Sunderland's next opponents, of course, are Middlesbrough. Preston North End 0, Norwich 4, Reading 2, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Sheffield United 3, Stoke City 1, and Watford won 2-0 at home to Blackpool. What does that do to the league table? Sunderland find themselves 10th after defeat at home this afternoon. And it's Middlesbrough who are the big movers in the league over the last month or so, aren't they?
And West Brom as well. Massive credit to them. 3-2. I think they were losing 2-1, weren't they, at half time? So they've come back again and picked up the points, and that's what happens in football. You string a run of results together and just look at that. It's still tight, isn't it? Between, you look at third, I think you look at the top two, and for me, them two are gone. They're away. So it's
particularly Burnley as well.
Yeah, it's playoff places, isn't it? I think you're looking at from Watford right the way down. It's only, from us, 5 points, isn't it, still? So we've got to get back on it, up against the tough opposition in Middlesbrough, who've been flying under Michael Carrick.
Let's have a look at your thoughts now as we look at hashtag Ask Danny. Of course, we get opinions and thoughts from viewers around the world here on SAFC Live. The first one's coming from Eden. It says, where do you think we will finish in the table?
Still a long way to go, isn't there? This is a tricky one, because you're looking at it, and I still what would I say? I don't think anyone has been better than us, over the course of where we're at this stage in the season. Nobody's blown us away. We keep saying it week in, week out, and you look at it today, we've been beaten, but hard to gauge in a way.
Yeah.
I go back to the Burnley game. I keep going back to the Burnley game. We're 2-0 up against Burnley at home, half time. A team who are running away with it at this moment in time, and yes, they come out second half, and I think we allowed them back into the game. We weren't great in that second half. We got sloppy on the ball, and we fell apart in a way. But we've got additions to come in. We've got players out. Squad wise, we need 1 or 2 to come in, I think, and get a few back from the treatment room, as we've had a couple back already today, Lyndon and Corey. But at the start of the season, I said anywhere between 10th and 17th, 18th, I'd say I'd be happy with.
I think a lot of people had the same opinion
as well. Yeah, definitely.
At the start of the season.
Yeah, of course. But then you watch as the season progresses and where we found ourselves, where we could have been today. If we win today and we're 4th, and if I stand here and say, I'd be happy if we finished 15th, a lot of the fans are going to say, what is he going on about?
Yeah.
Think positive. So it's a difficult one. I think we're capable of going on a run. I think we're capable of beating anyone on our day. It's just putting those days together and being consistent. But we've got a young team in a way. We've got some experienced lads at this level who've played here before, but the core of the squad and what we've recruited, a lot of young boys who are finding their feet at this level and getting used to playing at this stadium in front of 30,000 plus every week. So between now and the end of the season, I still think we're obviously going to pick up a lot of points. We're going to have some good victories, but we're going to have bumps in the road like we've had today. So I'm still hopeful that we can kick on, and you're still hoping you can push for the playoffs, but you're looking at some of the teams who are in and around that now. I'd expect West Brom to be solid between now and the end of the season. Middlesbrough are flying, so looking at perhaps there's a couple of places. Watford are in and around it, albeit Swansea beating 4-0 a couple of weeks ago. It's difficult to gauge, but I'd say a top half finish would be, satisfied with a top half finish possible. And anywhere from going up, if we have a bad run of results, you're all of a sudden you're looking over your shoulder, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you can't get too carried away. But at the same time, I think if for me, if we finish now between sort of 15th and it could be 4th by the end of the season, that's a good season.
Yeah. Okay then. Well handled.
Yeah, we'll speak about it again in a few weeks when we've got
Let's
another
have a
10
look at
games or so.
the next hashtag, Ask Danny. This one says, do you think it was a red? We are split on this. We asked opinion of people around us as well in the ground at half time, and everyone's split on this.
Yeah.
I think the decision shouldn't have been made because it should have been a penalty 10 seconds before, Danny.
Well, that would have helped everyone out. Yeah, we've looked at that a couple of times. I think it's a foul on Ahmad. I think, was it Cullen? I think it made the challenge. You look at his reaction, we've slowed it down, and to be fair, I know everyone gets on the officials, and a lot of fans have got on the officials today, but they get one look at it in normal speed. From the linesman's point of view, I'm not sure whether he can see it because he's right in line with that, and you have to look sort of down the pitch to see it.
Yeah.
Has the referee got a view? And if he hasn't, then he can't make the decision. But we've seen it back. At first we weren't sure where Ahmad goes down. He's a little bit theatrical, but he has been caught. And then as soon as you look at Cullen's reaction, what does he do? He turns to the referee, and he's like that. He gives it the guilty look. He's got his arms up as if to say, "I've not touched him," but he has touched. So yeah, it was a penalty when you see it back.
Play goes on 10 seconds later.
Play goes on 10 seconds later, and Luke O'Nien comes flying in, and Luke had given a free kick away.
This is the decision in real time.
Yeah,
that's it in real time.
Yeah, that's it in real time. Yeah, listen, he's coming with force. It's good feet, by the way. It's that touch there because he shows a bit of the ball to Luke, and he's coming with force. Now we're going to slow it down and see. What I wouldn't say, it's not high. It's between floor level and ankle at best.
All right, okay. So if everyone walks away from the incident there, and Luke gets back in position, and Swansea try and play the ball quickly, that's a yellow.
Well, I'll tell you what happens there. If the referee sees that, he gets his yellow out straight away and shows Luke O'Nien a yellow card. Then, even though the players have come flying in, they'll just say, "All right, it's a yellow." So then they'll get back in. The fact that, as you say, Cabango comes flying in, look, and then he starts it off, and there's a bit of a scuffle. There's a few shirts being pulled and a few lads pushing each other. I think it's a strong yellow. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and we've chatted to fans around us. They're asking us because we've got the monitor, and they're saying, "Have you seen it back? What are you saying?" And I'm saying a yellow. You think it's a red? It's one to debate. Sunderland fans will be in the pubs, as you say. They'll see it back and they'll debate it like we are doing now.
What do you think VAR would have said about that incident?
I think if the ref had sent him off, and then VAR look at it, because VAR are there to overrule it in a way as if to say you've got it wrong. I don't think they would have said, well, there's too much in it that you've got it wrong. And for me, VAR in that situation, at the end of the day, VAR is one person's opinion against the other person's, isn't it? So it's the ref who sees it on the pitch, and then the ref that's in the booth at Stockley Park or wherever he is, he thinks, it's not, so he's telling him in his ear. He overrules him, undermines him in a way for me. I think if it's the referee goes and looks at it on the telly himself, I don't think you need somebody at Stockley Park to tell you you've got it wrong or you've got it right. Just go and have a look yourself. Anyway, we haven't got VAR here. The refs had a look at it. I think that maybe the fourth official, who is 10 yards away from where we are now, looking straight down the line of it,
he might have said something.
And they've seen it in real time, and Luke does come flying in. He's made some good challenges in recent weeks, Luke. But
he has got that in his locker as well,
yeah,
a wild one.
Yeah. Luke comes across.
Think about his first couple of seasons.
His character. He's a bit of a quiet boy, isn't he? Nicey, but he can be a little bit naughty on the pitch.
Yeah. Wind-up merchant.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. He wants to win. You see what it means to him to winning games of football for the club. But yeah, he goes flying in. But for me, it's low. It's almost like a slide tackle in a way.
Yeah.
It's just João Felix in the week for Chelsea against Fulham. I watched that. He come in. He caught the lad just below his knee. I don't think you can argue with that. When it studs up, he's missed the ball and he's caught him. But Luke, for me, he come in low there. Yes, there's force in it. It could have gone either way. And we sat there and someone said to me up there, if he'd give a yellow, I don't think anyone in the stadium would have really argued about it. Even Russell Martin perhaps wouldn't have argued it. So in a way, it was like a bit of a bonus for them. Yeah. And then the game sort of swung after that, didn't it?
Yeah, of course, if we did have VAR, it would have been given a penalty in the first place.
Exactly that, and that would have we wouldn't have got onto that point, would we?
Exactly. So. Right, let's move on. Next one then, please. It's our friend David Malaysia who says, lots of extra running today with 10 men. We've got some fit young players, Danny, in your playing days. Which players stood out as supremely fit?
Supremely fit players, yeah. So thinking of my time here, towards the end of my time, Jordan Henderson would be the prime candidate, and David Mailer, two youngest lads coming into, I think it was my final season, pre-season running. When you're doing the hard yards, them doggies, box to boxes. Jordan, fit lad.
He's gone on to have a decent career.
He's done all right in his career, hasn't he? Lifted 1 or 2 trophies since then. But he just looked after himself really. But I don't think he drinks, whether that comes into it with some lads, I'm not sure. But yeah, just an athlete, just wanted to do well from an early age, and just these box-to-box runs that he was finishing 20, 30 yards ahead of some of the other lads. Johnny Walters at Stoke. Stoke, we used to go to Austria pre-season up the mountains like this, 6 o'clock in the morning. Proper old school runs, but Johnny Walters was a machine running up those hills. I don't think he suffered from lactic acid at all.
What about on the Welsh side? Was Gareth Bale someone who was really fit in his day?
Yeah, but it's difficult there because you're not really doing a pre-season. When you go away, because lads have obviously been playing games, so it's just ticking over training in a way, really. If some lads hadn't been playing, they do a little bit extra. But you couldn't really gauge too much off there. But Gareth, I'd say, is more short, sharp, the explosive 10, 15 yard runs. A
quick word on him, announcing his retirement since we last been on air as well. Gareth Bale, his impact for Welsh football.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, almost dragged the country through in the last, 10 years or so, really. I've had a few caps with myself playing with Gareth. Quite a quiet lad, but no, fantastic. And I think, looking at it, I think it's the right time in a way. Watching him in the World Cup, not quite the same player he was, hasn't got that explosiveness anymore, really. So yeah, he's probably weighed it up since the World Cup finished and thought it's the right time now. He got himself to a World Cup. As I said, led the country there, dragged us there, and fair play to him.
Time to play some golf, maybe.
Relax a little bit more, can't he, and play a bit of golf.
The final one now of #AskDanny comes in from Connor. It says, what position do you think we need to improve during the window, Danny? We spoke about this a little bit before the game as well. Of course, the window's open at the moment. We've seen Jay Matete leave on loan, which we haven't had time to speak about, but it means he goes away and gets minutes. Of course, he's on a long contract here at Sunderland, and we've seen players like Elliot Embleton return from his loan spell, and he was a better player for it as well. We've got Jack Diamond on loan at the moment as well. He's doing really well. So it can benefit the players, can't it? The loans going out. Do you expect to see anyone else going out as well as someone bringing players in? You don't have to name names, but do you think?
Yeah, certainly will be. Yeah, I think if Tony Mowbray gets to say 1 or 2 back from the treatment room, and then they've obviously got targets, and in the next week or 2, you expect them to be doing some business. We'll talk about positions in a minute, but there'll be lads there who aren't getting game time. And Jay Matete, prime example, got a long contract, not getting game time here. And I think Tony Mowbray said it last week, where there's no point in him sitting around if he's going to get 10, 15 minutes here and there, if he can go out and get some game time. And he's gone to a team who are the top of the table. So, if he can get himself in at Plymouth and he's playing, 15 games or so between now and the end of the season, it's going to make him a better player, rather than sitting here maybe playing a bit of, say, reserve team football or 23s, or behind closed doors games at the training ground. It's not the same. Go out and get some good game time for a team who are doing well, and then you come back, whether he comes back at the end of next season and he's pushing for a place there up against Dan Neil, Corey Evans, and some of the lads. In terms of other positions, you know, we need to sort of strengthen in. Obviously, the main one is top end of the pitch, isn't it? With Ross Ellis has gone back to Everton. We need to strengthen there. If Ross goes down, picks up an injury like he did. What was it, Middlesbrough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And now we played
who you got
Middlesbrough
there?
next
No, you
game.
got Leon Diaku coming on today, but I don't see Leon as a natural striker.
Okay.
I think he's more of it looks to me more of a wide player, Leon. So yeah, we need to. I know everyone knows that. I think they're obviously looking at who's it going to be. I'm seeing names thrown about in recent days. 1 or 2 targets apparently, but until they get the old scarf picture outside the academy of light, that's when you believe it really. But yeah, we need certainly 1, maybe 2 strikers. I've said another centre midfielder, bit of presence in there as well. Yeah, I've said that for certainly since the last window really. And then you're looking at like Niall Huggins. It's a strange one with Niall because he came back, he played at Birmingham, done well, and then he's obviously picked up his injury since, so it's frustrating for Niall. Trey Humes got himself in there, he's doing quite well, because Trey would have been one perhaps thinking, do I need to go out and get some games and then come back, but he's had to bide his time, but he's got himself in there now and he's been doing really well. So yeah, there are, you know, I'd expect us to see 3, maybe 4 positions coming in the next week or 2, and then 1 or 2 will have to go out and get some game time. Yeah. Okay,
Danny, thanks for your thoughts and thanks for yours as well around the world here on SAFC Live this afternoon. Our next game, of course, is against Middlesbrough. It's a 12 noon kickoff on Sunday, which means we'll be on air from 11:30 for that one here on SAFC Live. Go to safc.com for full streaming details of that one, and of course follow us on our social media channels to get reaction from our first team player and Tony Mowbray as well in the next few minutes. That's it from us. We'll see you next time.